Got to see Birds of Prey last night, and I had a pretty good time. Let's talk about the film, but without any spoilers. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and let's do a spoiler-free review of Birds of Prey. But first, get in on this month's giveaway. We're giving away a copy of JLA 1 Million, one of my favorite time travel tales ever. To get in on the giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber, hit like, and leave a comment. Well, I didn't get an early screening, but I did get to see Harley Quinn last night, and I had a pretty darn good time. Now, there's some ups and some downs to this film, and I liked most of it, and I think you will too. I'm going to try to give you my honest opinion without giving you any spoilers, with a tiny bit of input from my 17-year-old daughter who joined me. So, let's dig right in. This movie is clearly a sequel to Suicide Squad, and this is clearly the same version of Harley Quinn, so don't be confused about that. Now, it may be set in an alternate Earth or something like that, but overall, we're in that same universe. And the movie kind of has that same almost pastel color feel that Suicide Squad had, and it totally works for it. Now, the movie has its ups and downs, some good, some bad, but overall, a general good time. You can tell this movie has a little bit of a lower budget. Some of the sets and some of the costumes feel a little closer to TV than what we've seen from the DCEU in the past. Actually, if I'm being fair, they were pretty close to Shazam. Overall, actually, yeah, the whole aesthetic of the whole thing was pretty close to Shazam, at about that level. But it worked. It didn't feel out of place, and nothing really pulled me out of the movie. Overall, the storytelling was pretty good, minus a handful of cringy spots in dialogue. One of my only little complaints was the bounce around in the timelines. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but they do it a few times, and if you're not paying close attention, you might get a little confused. This isn't a little kid's movie, it's clearly rated R, but I could see where you could get confused. All the performances were pretty darn good. One of them didn't work for me, and we'll talk about it in a second. Margot Robbie clearly loves being Harley Quinn, and pretty much does everything she can do to try to embody the character. Works most of the time. Sometimes it feels like she's trying a little too hard, but I like her version of the character, and she's becoming pretty synonymous with her overall. I gotta say, one of my favorite parts of the movie was her interacting with her hyena Bruce. I'm so glad they added Bruce. It makes it feel so much more comic book for somebody to have a pet hyena. I mean, come on. Just hopefully it doesn't turn into that typical thing where people try to get one for real. They make terrible pets, trust me. I really didn't like what they did with Cassie compared to the comic book version of her, but overall, the version of the character they gave us was pretty good. That's really a nerd problem. That's on me. One of the more interesting takes in the movie, though, I thought was the Huntress. Very modernized. Super violent, but very modernized. We're not going to give away any spoilers in case you don't know her origin story, but there's a little trauma involved in typical comic book fashion. And she's kind of the oddball of the group. It's weird the way it manifests. She really has that social anxiety that many people have now, but she's strong and odd at the same time, and so violent nobody really wants to mess with her. I like it. And then there's the Black Canary. And if you're a fan of the comics, you know there've been a ton of changes there. And I'm not going to lie, they did a great job incorporating it all together. They actually got the comic stuff, the legacy stuff, and even the direct visual, the race change, done perfectly. None of it matters, and she totally works as the character. If I had any complaint, she was a little underused, and when you get into the movie, you'll understand why I say that. But I look forward to seeing her on screen again. Ewan McGregor's Black Mask is more than a little fun. Now, a lot of the rumors we heard about how the character was going to be portrayed were true, but he is pretty much just a psycho gangster. That's it. Chris Messina makes a great Victor Zsasz, and the rest of the supporting cast is pretty good. This brings us to Rosie Perez. Her casting in the movie really didn't work for me, and overall, I didn't care much for her character. I don't really know why. I don't think it was her performance. I actually think it was the way she was presented, but that's probably my only real complaint in the movie. So overall, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I had a good time watching it, just like I had a good time watching Shazam, and it really feels like this is the direction that DC Films is headed in the future. You can feel the lower budget a little bit, but it doesn't impact the storytelling at all, and it's clearly a cinematic experience, not watching TV for 2 hours. I'm really curious on what you guys think, and if you like the movie too. I'll probably see it again, at least one more viewing, and I think that's going to be key to the movie's success. Hopefully this spawns a couple of sequels, maybe a Birds of Prey 2 with Batgirl, and maybe a Gotham City Sirens with Catwoman and Ivy. Who knows? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.